Distinguished guests, industry leaders, innovators, and friends. My name is Amanshi Chatwani, and it's an absolute pleasure to welcome all of you to the International Tooling Summit 2025. As we kickstart the 9th edition, this year we come together under a theme that speaks of progress, trust, and transformation. Capability to credibility, transforming Indian tool rooms. From building technical expertise to earning global confidence, the Indian tooling industry stands at the threshold of a new era. Leaders from sectors including automotive, plastics and packaging, aerospace, white goods, electronics, and toy making come together and offer valuable opportunity to connect, collaborate, and stay competitive in a fast evolving market. Today, we celebrate the innovation, precision, and commitment that are reshaping our tool rooms into world-class powerhouses. Over the course of this summit, we will exchange ideas, showcase advancements, and forge collaborations that will not only elevate our capabilities, but also strengthen India's credibility on the global stage. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get started on this journey of transformation where skill meets trust and capability becomes credibility. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you that this wouldn't have been possible without our wonderful support of our sponsors and partners. And as I take their names, please join me in extending a warm thank you to all of them. Ladies and gentlemen, our powered by sponsor, Multiple Special Steel Private Limited. Let's get a round of applause. Our gold partners, Fibro India Precision Products Private Limited, Makino India Private Limited, S&T Group, our networking partners, Muse Burger India Private Limited, Hasco India Private Limited, RegoFix India Private Limited, our Haiti, Bloom Novotest Measuring and Testing Technology Private Limited, our Lucky Draw, Cam Tools Industries Private Limited, our associate sponsors, 3M Tool Room, Planeto Tooltech Private Limited, and Hot Mold Engineering Private Limited. Let's get a huge round of applause for all of these wonderful partners and sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, as we kickstart the 9th edition, may I please request all of you to stand for the Indian National Anthem.
Janagana mana adhinayaka jaya he, Bharat bhagya vidhata. पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Ladies and gentlemen, as we now kickstart this edition, I have a request to make before we move ahead. In a culture like we have in our country, which is a melting pot of cultures, anything auspicious that we start, we always do it with the lamp lighting ceremony. Before I proceed to the lamp lighting ceremony, may I request you to turn to the person sitting to the left or the right. You're going to be neighbors for almost a lot of time today. Just turn to the person sitting to the left or right, shake hands with them, give them a smile. If you haven't told them your name, please do that. You absolutely should. Wonderful. With that, ladies and gentlemen, join me as I now take this opportunity to invite and welcome Mr. Devaraya M. Sheregar, President, TAGMA India, for the lamp lighting. Let's put our hands together. Mr. D. Shanmugasundaram, Vice President, TAGMA India. May I request you to join him? With this, ladies and gentlemen, we have some incredible dignitaries that are here. We're going to take this opportunity to invite them for the lamp lighting. As we do that, please keep up the energy and enthusiasm. Please join me as I invite Mr. Deepak Thukral, Executive Officer, Supply Chain, Maruti Suzuki, India Limited. Mr. Guruprasad Biswal, CEO, Aerospace, Defense and Civil, Bharat Forge Limited. Mr. Sundar R, Vice President, Function Lead, Procurement, Hyundai Motors Limited. Mr. Krishna Sudheendran, Scientist C, Deputy Director, Production and General Engineering Department, Bureau of Indian Standards. May I please request Neo-san to join us, CEO, Makino Asia. Mr. Gopalakrishnan TS, Director, Multiple Special Steel Private Limited. May I request all of you wonderful gentlemen to please proceed for the lamp lighting.
पुरुषाय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ति प्रचोदयात् पुरुषाय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ति प्रचोदयात्
May I request all of our gentlemen to please come together for a group picture. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking them for kickstarting the 9th edition with the auspicious lamp lighting ceremony. Thank you. With this, ladies and gentlemen, as we now move ahead, may I take this opportunity to invite our President, TAGMA India, Mr. Devaraya M. Sheregar, up on the stage. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause. Let's do this. A very good morning, sir. Joining him, may I please invite Mr. D. Shanmugasundaram, Vice President, TAGMA India. May I request both of you gentlemen to take center stage. We're now very excited to welcome all of our dignitaries up here on the dais. May I please take this opportunity to invite Mr. Deepak Thukral, Executive Officer, Supply Chain, Maruti Suzuki, India Limited. Please join me in inviting Mr. Guruprasad Biswal, CEO, Aerospace, Defense and Civil, Bharat Forge Limited. Mr. Sundar R, Vice President, Function Lead Procurement, Hyundai Motors Limited. Mr. Gopalakrishnan TS, Director, Multiple Special Steel Private Limited. Thank you. May I please request Mr. Sheregar to join us for the welcome address. The stage is all yours, sir.
Good morning, everyone. A very welcome to all of you. It is a great honor for me to welcome some very special guests today. Our chief guest, Deepak Thukral, Executive Officer, Supply Chain, Maruti Suzuki India Limited. Guest of honor, Mr. Guruprasad Biswal, CEO, Aerospace, Defense and Civil, Bharat Forge Limited. Guest of honor, Mr. Sundar R, Vice President, Procurement, Hyundai Motors, India. The keynote speakers. Our keynote speaker, Mr. Krishna Sudheendran, Scientist, Deputy Director, Production and General Engineering Department, Bureau of India Standard. We also have with us a leader from the Department of Heavy Industries and many respected names from the automotive, electrical, machine tools, toys, and tooling industries. I also warmly welcome to all of delegates, speakers, partners, and friends from across the country and around the world. Friends, over the last few years, we have talked a lot about the opportunities in the tooling industry. Especially after COVID, we all saw how important local manufacturing is. Now it is not just about talking, it is a time of act, work together and grab these opportunities. Thanks to automotive industry and the leaders present here, India tool makers have grown stronger. Thank you for the trust and support you have shown us, but how it is time to expand beyond just one sector. We must also look at aerospace, defense, electricals, home appliances, toy, and other growing industries. There is demand. We have the skills. Over the past 3 months, I visited Taiwan, Korea, and Japan. I met many tool makers there, and they all said same things, that India is the future. They are executed about India. Many of them are planning to set up operations here. They are looking for partners, customers, and joint ventures. TAGMA aims to move Indian tooling industry from 20th to 15th position, 3 to 4 years, and into the top 10 within these decades. The plan, including upgrading 100 high potential micro units into medium or large enterprises through the better access to capital skills, advanced machineries, technology, partnership, and mentorship. Also, TAGMA working closely with the government on the proposed 13,000 crores auto supply chain scheme in pushing for tooling technology fund to help invest in modern machine and software. Additionally, 2 advanced tool rooms will be set up through public-private partnership equipped with high-end facilities like CMMs, laser structuring, large injection molding machine, CAE, CAD/CAM, suites, and testing infrastructures. So when the world is such a great interest in the India, we must make the most of it. Let us work together, tool makers, customers, government, everyone to make this entire ecosystem stronger. To the leaders from the user industries who are here today, I thank you once again for your support. Kindly request you to continue helping us by sharing your knowledge, giving better payment terms, and localizing more of your tooling needs within India. And to all of my fellow toolmakers, as the president of TAGMA, I want to assure you, we are working hard to raise your voice. We are regularly in the touch with the government, and we are committed to sharing your challenges and needs with them. Once again, thank you everyone for being here. I hope you all have great event filled with the learning, networking, and new opportunities. Let us build a stronger future for Indian tooling together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for setting the context so beautifully and for opening the 9th edition. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, I'd like to take the opportunity to invite on the podium our wonderful chief guest. We are so thrilled he's here. Please join me in inviting Mr. Deepak Thukral, Executive Officer Supply Chain, Maruti Suzuki, India Limited. Over to you, sir.
Good morning. President TAGMA, Mr. Sheregar, Mr. Shanmugasundaram, our erstwhile President, Mr. D.K. Sharma, and esteemed members of TAGMA, distinguished guests, and my fellow industry colleagues. It's an immense privilege and true honor to stand before all of you today at this International Tooling Summit. I'm here for the first time, and I extend my heartfelt gratitude to TAGMA for this invitation. And I really like this that was your tagline, right? Credibility to credibility, right? It was really nice. I was just looking at it. And yeah, that's what is very relevant for today's context. So, I have been in this industry for more than 3 decades now. And when I walked in, and in the morning when I was sitting with the executive committee, they told me that this association is also more than 3 decades old now. It was started with 8 members, and now it's close to more than 500 or 800 members it's there. So it's been a long journey so far for you as well as for me. And I remember, I started my career in supply chain and was looking after sheet metal components when I started and that time, I could see that almost we were making cars, and that time almost all the toolings were coming from, were not made in India, mostly coming from our neighbors, and very small toolings possibly were being made in India. But since then, if you look now, things have changed significantly by the efforts of all of you sitting here, and we can see that happening, and now majority of toolings which we are now consuming are being made in India, and I really thank you for this. We can have a round of applause for all of you. So, while I stand here today, I want to talk about the landscape. I don't know what time I've got here. I might extend a little bit. Sorry for that. And then, what are we as an automotive industry thinking now? And how are we looking at things now, and what do we see the challenges going forward? And definitely I was telling Mr. D.K. Sharma that of course today I will appreciate the efforts of this entire group sitting here, but I'll also set some challenges for future. Maybe we need to step up now to next level. That's what is need of the hour. if we have to remain competitive in this current environment, and if you want to become the third largest economy going forward, along with Japan, this auto sector and all of us have to grow and, embrace more challenges, embrace more, growth in the process, and new technology, innovation. So lots of things are expected from all of us sitting here. And I expect that today, this 2-day session which you're going to hold here will definitely, I should say, move in the right direction. That's what is my thought. So if you look at the Indian economy, the narrative of Indian economy has been extraordinary if you look at the past few decades, and the future paints a very compelling picture. As I said, that we are the 4th largest economy today, and soon we'll become the 3rd largest also as we move forward alongside Japan. So this is not I can say it's not just a statistical achievement. It's not a number in itself. It's a testament to the fundamental strength of our economy, the ambitious reforms undertaken, and the entrepreneurial spirit of our people. I think that's what is contributing to the way we are looking at. And by 2030, we will rise to become the 3rd largest economy in the world, a milestone that reflects our growing global influence and economic strength. So India's growth story is driven by multiple factors. We being in the consumer industry, selling automotive, these things are very important for us. Rising per capita income, which is empowering millions of Indians to demand more, to expect more, and as an industry, we have to meet their demands. And the automotive industry is also evolving rapidly. There are a lot of technical advancements happening. There's also now sustainability, environmental concerns coming, and the customer is changing. So all of us, from vehicle manufacturers to part manufacturers and drilling down to tool manufacturers, need to remain closely aligned with these changes and make action plans proactively to meet them. So this demands agility, foresight, and willingness to adapt. One of the important things which we see now is the time to market. We see our neighbors doing things pretty fast, and that is what is also making them cost competitive. So we should learn and you should learn from your many Asian tool makers who have demonstrated remarkable agility in changing their strategies, staying competitive, and significantly reducing their overall development cycles. Their success offers valuable lessons in rapid innovation and efficient execution, especially in the area of tool design and development. And right now in the morning, while I was discussing this point, one point came across that maybe if you look at the China, Taiwan, or wherever country, especially in the tooling industry, there's an ecosystem. They know better. But if there is one person who is overloaded, then they can offload the work to their neighbors. I think this concept in India is still to catch up. But it's very important, but from the point of view of, meeting the timelines, because as an auto industry, we are also trying very hard to reduce the timelines to bring either a change or a new model. So this pressure will come on the system definitely, and please look at how this can happen. So if you look at the auto industry, it is the CAGR expected for next couple of years is close to 8%. And they say that by 2032, it will be $218 billion. So that's there. But as a market leader, if you ask Maruti, we will aim for much more higher. And that's what we expect from our vendor, supplier, our partners. So while we look at these kind of numbers happening, it cannot happen with the same product. So we need to enhance our design capabilities. We also need to look at the scale of operations. We need to look at competitiveness globally and significantly boost our exports also. So if you want to do so many things, one very important is capital. You need capital for such kind of, growth. And that's a very important point which we also talk to our suppliers. Probably some of you have been in a vendor conference where we talk about financial prudence with our suppliers. In today's context, it's very relevant if you want to, the way we are projecting doubling our growth in the next 7-8 years. So this capital will play a very major role when you look at this. So you have to see whether, and best is if whatever resource you generate internally are plowed back into the business, and that's how the company grows. But at the same time, you can also look at some strategic investment with a partner who can bring capital as well as cost-cutting technology and global best practices. It all depends which route you want to follow, but yes, growth is coming. In the recent times, the global landscape has become complex and unpredictable. We all read about the geopolitical disturbances, the new tariffs which are being announced day and night. It impacts all of us. So when this uncertainty is there, the supply chain also starts, getting impacted. So at that time, it's very important to look at the entire supply chain in a holistic manner, right from raw material to tool maker to part suppliers, and carefully map their dependencies. And if you look at from the government side, I think government is very clear. They are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign, which talks about Make in India, and it also says that we should look at Make in India for and make for the world also. So TAGMA, as the voice of the Indian tooling industry, has a pivotal role to play. I expect TAGMA to work closely with the government to push for better support and conducive policies for improving the quality and scale of tooling industry in India. So before I move to what we see and what we expect from you, of course, there's been very good support from all of you so far. I said that most of our toolings we do source locally, but now technology is taking a shift. So we need to look at more challenges going forward. I think there was some data which came from, it was from TAGMA or from Indian tooling industry, which says that the total size of this industry is close to India is close to 2.8 billion US dollars, and is mostly driven by automotive and auto component sector, which contribute 60% of this market. But it also says that roughly this data is, it's not mine, some data I read from somewhere, that 30% of the tooling requirement is still met through imports from countries like China, South Korea, Japan, Taiwan. So to me, this appears to be big. There's a huge potential for the industry to grow faster by building both capacities and capabilities. Some of the things we can, together we can focus on, which will help us also, and of course, help in your growth also, is to maintain cost competitiveness and increase the localization further. If this 30% is right, then there's a big scope for all of you to expand further. So with you, we as Maruti Suzuki, we have made significant progress in localization of toolings, also critical part toolings also. So most of the sheet metal and general plastic parts, tools, which we were importing earlier have been localized now. But as an industry, if you ask us, there are still categories where we still have to import, and like lamps, tooling for lamps are still getting imported. Some 2K molding parts, some ambient lighting parts, panoramic sunroof. Then there is something in steel also. Now we are moving towards ultra and advanced high tensile steels, hot stamping, connectors, electrical parts, and some critical AV parts. So there are a lot of scope to, that's what I said, if you can look at these, the way the auto sector is moving now, the way the features are coming, I think these technologies need to be looked at by all of you while you expand your operations. Also, there is a customer which is demanding more aesthetic features like soft touch, acrylic grills, So a lot of these things also we still import the tooling. I'm just giving these points so that you can look at where to go when you look at your expansion plans. Also, when we look at the local tooling, of course, you're doing a great job. And as I said in the beginning itself, we should appreciate the efforts made by all of you. But still, there's some differences with respect to overseas tool maker. It can be something which you need to catch up, or or maybe you need more capability in that area. Like, for example, you still need some more capacity to achieve high level of polishing, spring back compensation, high speed machining for achieving tighter tolerance, hidden parting line, and reduced timeline for tool maturation. I think these are a couple of things. I'm just leaving thoughts here for next 2 days. You can deliberate and come with what has to be done in these areas. But this is where we see difference between the tool makers here and what are there globally. Also, the time to market is now reducing significantly. We understand that in some of the global economies, it's almost 50, getting a new car or new is almost now going down by 50% the time they have reduced. If we also want to follow that, then it's a lot of pressure on all of you. We expect you to look at the tooling lead time, how it can be reduced with respect to the developed ecosystems of, say, China, Taiwan, Korea. So that's what is also very important, because if the timing becomes a constraint, then there is, again, that reverse shift might not happen, should not happen. We still aim to localize all our tooling requirements, and this remains our top priority. That's why we are here talking to all of you. That's what it is. So our expectation is very clear. We are saying first time right tools. We are saying reduced development lead time. We are saying ensure effective project management. That word credibility was very important here, which came up today. Then enhance robustness in tool design and remain cost competitive. I think these very clear expectations, and I request you to deliberate in these 2 days how you can achieve these points. Second topic, which is also coming more critically now, is to build flexibility in tooling and enhance tool life. Actually, today the customer is becoming, you can make a lot of projections that this is what we should make for our customers and this car will sell. But customer changes. The demand pattern keeps changing. So we have to be flexible. We have to adapt to the new demand. And the same pressure we are asking toolings also. That there should be flexibility while you make your tooling. They should be able to, use that tooling from at least minor changes. Multiple changes should be possible in the tooling. That is one thing we expect. So that is, please look at, and how can you increase the tool life? That is also one area, because we see that for us, stop, 5 minutes more. So the total cost of ownership for us remains in control. So there is one topic which we were just, that there is important that you use high quality raw material, standardized components, and a robust preventive die maintenance. I think this can also be a thought for all of you. I was told that now some good tool raw material is now improving, right? So please. So another area it's common for, in fact, any industry, for us also equally common, is skill development and skill retention. Of course, for tooling, it's very critical because it's a high skill job. So we need to find how to realize the potential of the people who are there and how to develop more skill as we go forward. Because, the final product which we get from that tooling, which goes in, I should say now, at least lakhs of vehicles, depends a lot on the workmanship of the tooling, and which in turn relies on the availability of skilled manpower. So I request, again, TAGMA leadership to take proactive approach in creating necessary ecosystem and infrastructure for skill development, so that as a nation, we build a strong pool of skilled manpower for the tooling industry. Skill retention is also one, apart from for the skill retention also, the right recruitment is very important. So you need to find out how to get the right kind of people for your industry. The next point which I have in mind is the adoption of technology advancements in automotive industry is, as I said again, is moving at a rapid pace. So the Indian tooling industry has to keep pace with these changes. Therefore, I was talking in the morning again that if ACMA and TAGMA can, somehow become closer, talk to each other, understand expectations, because normally the component makers are much closer with the OEMs. They interact more with us. So we'll get a very good understanding of what's coming in future. See, technology does not change like a snap of finger. You start working 3-4 years before a new technology comes in the segment. So if you're aware that this is a new technology coming and you start working on a toolings well in advance, it will be very good. So that's why such close cooperation with is important. And if you look at, so this is number 4, and the last one which we look at, which I just wanted to share with you, which we are talking with almost all our suppliers also, and also with internally also we're trying, is how to get digitalization and AI in the business. It is like a necessity now. It's no longer an option. And you can see how you can gradually start using and then build on it as you move forward. This will definitely help in improving speed and efficiency. And of course, your simulations which you do should get better. So in the long run, a better design and better tool life will really enhance the overall performance of your whatever you're making. So I encourage the tooling fraternity to continue striving for excellence and innovation in all aspects of business. The evolving demands of industry calls for a, as I said, proactive approach with grounded in quality, collaboration, and forward-thinking strategies. Let's today discuss, because discussions lead to good results also. It's very important, like this forum which you're having today, that's where you understand what's more is required. So discussion is always very important, which will lead to better alignment and also lead to creative solutions and effective partnerships between automotive and tooling industries. So I think it's already showing red there, time's up. So I also will stop here, and I wish TAGMA team and all the members present here for fruitful sessions ahead, and whatever requests I made, if some of those can be discussed in these forums here, it'll be great help for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for joining us here, elevating our occasion, and also for sharing all of those wonderful insights. Before I invite our guest of honor for his address, may I please request Mr. Sheregar and Mr. Shanmugasundaram to join us right here at the center stage. May I please take this opportunity to invite on stage Mr. Krishna Sudheendran, Scientist C, Deputy Director, Production and General Engineering Department, Bureau of Indian Standards. We're so glad that he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming him up to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, let me hand over the podium now to Mr. Guruprasad Biswal, CEO, Aerospace, Defense and Civil, Bharat Forge Limited. May I please invite you here, sir?
I'll try to finish this in 15 minutes. Our respected dignitaries on the dais, the distinguished TAGMA members, esteemed tooling entrepreneurs, valued industry users, and the fellow champions of the Indian manufacturing excellence. Before actually I give my thoughts on the tooling into a very important sector, that's defense and aerospace, I'll just begin this with my gratitude to this tooling fraternity. When I look back into my career, when I started in HAL in 1995, this is my 30th year in aerospace, and I actually give lot part of this credits to my initial days at HAL. I was posted in a very remote area. Many people would not have heard of the name Koraput back in Odisha. So in 2001, we were just trying to get ready for manufacturing the Sukhoi engines, the Su-30 engines, which the Indian Air Force wanted HAL to manufacture and had got inducted into the Indian Air Force. And we were looking at how do we set up the state-of-the-art plant in that remotest of the place. I reach out to quite of my industry friends, and I'm sure they're here, though I haven't met them today. I remember Paresh Bhai, I remember Daniel, Ramesh, I remember Vinith. I just said to them, look, I want to set up one of the best tool rooms in this part of the world, because every tooling that we did for the earlier programs for the MiG-21s and MiG-27s were all imported. They said, yeah, we are in CAD-CAM and we would help you do that. So they said, okay, we'll come. I said, I don't have a computer even. I remember Mr. Paresh, if he's there around, he and his wife literally were traveling from Mumbai to Koraput with the entire CPU packed. There were no laptops with that kind of a processing speed. The support had been tremendous. 90% of the tooling that we did for Sukhoi 30 had been with many of the people around. So I actually give this gratitude to the people here who had helped me to reach this position and actually driving the growth. I was discussing today morning with Mr. Deepak that the aerospace as an industry follows or piggybacks on the automotive. The mass manufacturing, the scaling up that India has gone through when leaders like Maruti brought into India, actually, we are banking on that. And I'm sure if the defense industry is growing, the aerospace industry is growing, 99% of the tool manufacturers have been with automotive. We are only trying to educate them or lift them one skill level up to bring it to the aerospace. With this, I give my thoughts on what this industry is about and maybe certain areas that all of us can contribute. It is very personal to me. Many of you might not agree to a lot of these perceptions, but I think I had tried to sum up my last 30 years and the future that's going to come to us. And I'm trying to compare this with where the world is trying to grow. If you look at the numbers, India's aerospace market will reach $70 billion by 2030, growing at 13% of CAGR. Boeing estimates India needs 2,210 new aircraft over 20 years. By the way, as we speak today, the number of aircraft that is yet to be delivered is at 17,000. Just imagine 17,000 aircraft of backlogs that is there as we speak today. And the entire thing is all about supply chain. All these aircraft would require 3 to 4 million precision tooled parts. Yet, our tooling industry remains underprepared for this transformation. Consider the global context. South Korea grew aerospace tooling from 50 million to 2.8 billion in 15 years. China invested 12 billion in aerospace tooling capabilities between 2015 to 2020. The global aerospace tooling market is 4.2 billion annually. India's share is less than 1%. Achieving just 5% would create $200 million in revenue and 50,000 direct jobs. So when you look at automotive to aerospace, it's a natural evolution. Entrepreneurs have built world-class automotive tooling capabilities, competing globally with the best. Here is the opportunity. The automotive and aerospace tooling share 70% of the fundamental technologies. The difference lies in application parameters. Aerospace demands a 10 micron precision versus an automotive 50 micron. Just as an example, there are many components which also require 10 microns in automotive. And over 5,000 versus 100,000 operational cycles. The operational cycles in aerospace is much, much larger. The success stories prove this transition works. Take the example, Godrej Aerospace. They leveraged the consumer appliance manufacturing to supply to Boeing, Airbus, and Lockheed Martin. Mahindra Aerospace used automotive experience to become the tier 1 to the global suppliers. Tata Technologies partnered with Boeing for indigenous tooling, achieving 40% of cost reduction and 60% of faster delivery. To entrepreneurs, your automotive expertise isn't a limitation. It's your competitive advantage. To users, partnering with transitioning companies could reduce tooling cost by 30 to 40% while maintaining quality. I'm sure there are a lot of users of aerospace in this gathering. Now, what is the skill imperative? How do we build the aerospace DNA? The critical bottleneck isn't capital or technology. It's skilled human resources. Aerospace tooling demands expertise in nickel superalloys, titanium, composites, the various AS9100 technology standards and the NADCAP certifications, etc. The investment case is compelling. Training one engineer costs 2 lakhs, but increases the productivity value by 15 lakhs annually. Companies with aerospace training centers achieve 40% faster delivery with 25% fewer quality issues. To the policymakers and also to TAGMA here, help us establish the National Centers for Excellence for Aerospace Tooling. In each corridor, government is establishing defense corridor, aerospace corridor. Where is the tooling corridor in this country? The government has allocated 1,000 crores for aerospace skilling, underskill in India. The utilization rates remain disappointing low. Can TAGMA get into this and have a share of this pie from the government? Do we need strategic OEM partnerships beyond the transactional analysis or the transactional relationship that we have? Our aerospace OEMs hold transformation keys, but current engagement is transactional rather than transformational. Example, Boeing has invested $100 million in Indian supplier development, resulting in $2.5 billion of local sourcing. Airbus has committed $2 billion sourcing by 2025 this year. Yet, these represent components, not tooling. Where is the pie of the tooling in this entire scenario? To aerospace users, establish supplier development programs with technical assistance and long-term commitments. To the entrepreneurs, to all of you here, proactively present capability roadmaps showing how the automotive precision solves the aerospace challenges. India is going to be a global destination. Why will India dominate aerospace tooling? We have 1.5 million engineering graduates annually, manufacturing cost advantages, and strategic location accessing both Eastern and Western markets. Singapore became a global hub through focused strategy. Their 12-page National Aerospace Program now contributes $12 billion of revenue in the GDP. Ireland transformed from agriculture to global aerospace tooling through targeted investments. Indian companies supply tooling to every major manufacturer globally. We need similar focus. The policymakers or TAGMA, we require a unified national aerospace tooling strategy with clear targets and accountability, not multiple documents across the ministries. I'm sorry if I'm being very blunt, but this is the requirement of the day. How do you actually point at the policy levels and how do you unlock the transformations? The current initiatives create opportunities, but the utilization remains suboptimal. The PLI scheme, uptake by the tooling companies is below 15%. The specific recommendations, and this is very personal, being in this industry, The Aerospace Tooling Investment Promotion Scheme with a 25% of capital subsidies. The Aerospace Tooling Parks with shared facilities and streamlined approvals. Reverse offset policy mandating domestic tooling sourcing. And the fast track approvals for technology imports and collaboration in the line of tooling technology. The Defense Procurement Procedure 2020 mandates indigenous content but often excludes tooling. This must change. How is technology going to be an equalizer? The emerging technologies enable leapfrogging traditional constraints. Example, GE Aviation reduced tooling development time 75% using 3D printing. Boeing uses additive manufacturing for 65% of their prototype developments and for the toolings. Airbus smart tooling achieved 30% of productivity improvement. Rolls-Royce uses digital twins for all engine tooling designs. Are we prepared for it? These technologies level the playing field. A Pune tool room can deploy the same advanced technologies as Seattle or Toulouse. Competition shifts from capital intensity to a innovation capability, and that is what India is known for. TAGMA. How can TAGMA become a transformation catalyst? TAGMA's role is pivotal through 5 strategy initiatives. First, establish Aerospace Tooling Certification Program, validating companies' aerospace readiness. Second, facilitate international partnerships with US, Germany, and Japan Aerospace Tooling Associations. Third, create Aerospace Tooling Consortium, enabling smaller companies to participate in large programs collaboratively. Fourth, establish TAGMA Aerospace Tooling Fund, supporting technology upgrades and certifications. And fifth, advocate unified industry positions on policy requirements at the highest government levels. The economies of transformation goes like this. For every rupee 1 invested in aerospace tooling, it generates 4.5 downstream of economic activity. Every aerospace tooling job creates 2.8 supply chain jobs. ROI in tooling or in aerospace tooling averages 28% annually versus an 18% in automotive. The policymakers should be supporting the aerospace tooling that creates these high value jobs to also increase the exports and reducing the import dependence. The economic case is compelling, and so is the business case. What are the global best practices? Example, South Korea succeeded through government R&D. Boeing collaborations and focus skilling now supplies 15% of Boeing 787 toolings. Mexico achieved growth through strategic locations, educational investments, and proactive company attractions. Vietnam's exports grew 300% in 5 years through competitive cost and strategic partnerships in tooling across the globe. These countries succeeded through focused strategies and coordinated execution. India has a superior advantage but needs similar coordination. The roadmap to have a clear milestone, and this is a task that all of us should take here. 2025, 10 aerospace qualified companies, 2,000 certified engineers, 50 millions of exports. And I'm just putting these numbers for all of you to really delve into the next 2 days. In 2027, 50 qualified suppliers, 3 centers of excellence, and 2% of domestic market capture. 2030, $500 million of revenue, a preferred global sourcing destination, and 25,000 jobs. If we need to be successful, we should have a very clear roadmap on what we need to do in the coming 5 years. And what's the call to action? Entrepreneurs, start your aerospace journey today. Invest in precision equipment, develop aerospace capabilities, partner with existing aerospace companies. To the aerospace users, support local suppliers, transformation through dedicated technical guidance, long-term contracts, and capability development. Your success depends on robust local supply base. I would conclude in the next 8 seconds. We stand at a historic inflection point. The global aerospace growth, Indian manufacturing capabilities, and government policy support create unprecedented opportunities. The aerospace industry remembers those who helped build its success. Boeing still partners with 1960s supporters. Airbus maintains relationships with early European contributors. This loyalty creates competitive moats lasting decades. Today, we can become trusted partners for companies building next-generation aircraft. The journey from capability to credibility begins with collective, decisive, immediate action. Consider this: Vietnam's tooling industry did not exist 20 years ago. Today, they are preferred suppliers to global aerospace companies. If Vietnam can achieve this transformation, imagine what India can accomplish with our engineering talent, manufacturing heritage, and market advantages. The question isn't whether India will succeed in aerospace tooling, but how quickly we can transform this capability into a global credibility. With TAGMA providing leadership, government providing the support, the entrepreneurs providing innovation, we are not just transforming the Indian tool rooms, we are positioning India as the aerospace tooling capital of the world. India's aerospace tooling future isn't predetermined. It's a choice we make today. Let us choose boldly, act decisively, and build the aerospace tooling industry that our nation has been lacking for long and deserves now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for that power-packed address. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, please join me as I now invite Mr. Sundar R., Vice President, Function Lead Procurement, Hyundai Motors India, to take over. Over to you, sir.
Distinguished Chief Guest for the day, officials from BAS, guest of honors on the stage, TAGMA members, TAGMA presidents, industry leaders, innovators, fellow professionals, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to one and all present here. It is both an honor and privilege to stand before you today at this prestigious international gatherings dedicated to the tooling and gauging industries. In a world driven by a precision, the tooling and gauging industry is not just a support system, it is a silent architect behind the innovation, every innovations. Coming from the automobile sector, I have seen how accurate tooling and reliable gauging system directly impacts the vehicle performance, safety, and production efficiency. Today, I will share how the evolving needs of the industry are shaping the new demands in tooling and gauging, and how collaboration between the industries is key to the success. Let me share you about the global scenario. Leaders, as we look at the global economy, India stands out not just as the fourth largest, but also the fastest growing. I think this deserves a big round of applause to the people who are sitting there. This is not just a statistics, it's a signal. A signal that a manufacturing, infrastructure, and innovations are accelerating. The IMF data says that consistent growth across the major economics, and this momentum is creating new opportunities for tooling and gauging. As the demand rises, so does the need for the precision, scalability, and smart manufacturing. India is poised to be a key player in the transformation. Coming to the global tooling market, the tooling industry has seen a remarkable growth from 2015 to 2025. In 24, the global tooling market, when I say tooling market, it starts from the toys to the aerospace and all including everything. See, when I say in 2024, the global tooling market was valued approximately around 272 billion USD and projected to reach 483 billion by 2033 with a CAGR of around 6.6, in which the automotive sector contributes almost over 52%. In 2015, the industry ranges around 272 billion US dollar, and it is mainly driven by the traditional and manufacturing sectors. In 2025, It is expected to reach around 290 billion with a growth fueled by the EVs, automation, and in this, if you see, the Europe leads the precision, and while Asia Pacific shows the fastest growth due to the high volume production, and North America drives the innovation with the smart factories and AI integration. By 2033, the market is projected to hit around 483 billion USD, and with the sustainability and electrification shaping the future demand. The global tooling industry has advanced rapidly, driven by the key several factors. Firstly, if you see, the Industry 4.0 has transformed the manufacturing itself. With automation, AI, and IoT and digital twins, tooling is no longer just a mechanical, it is an intelligent, adaptive, and deeply integrated with the smart factories. Second, if you look into this, rise of electric vehicles has redefined the tooling needs of demanding the precision tools, including the battery packs, lightweight materials, and complex drivetrains. Coming to the third one, the global supply chain opportunities in diversification, it has opened the new markets for tooling with the countries like India, Vietnam, and Mexico emerging as alternatives to the traditional hubs. The automation and the increased use of CNC machines and robotics enhance the precision and productivity. And finally, sustainability push demand for the eco-friendly material, circular economy tooling system is reshaping the manufacturing process. Coming to the Indian context, Indian tooling industry has witnessed a remarkable growth over the past decades. Its own market is expected to reach nearly double from USD of 18.8 billion in 2024 to USD 32.9 billion in 2023, growing at a faster CAGR of around 7.3. It's a result of several powerful forces working in harmony. Again, when I mention here, it includes tooling industry right from the toy to the aerospace. The first and foremost, the automotive sector has seen a backbone of the tooling demand, contributing over around 60% of the market, strengthened by supply chain and import substitution, or boosting the India's tooling industry by reducing the dependency on imports and improving the delivery speed. Our progressive government initiatives have played a transformative role. Policies like Make in India, the production-linked incentives, and the National Manufacturing Mission have not only encouraged the domestic production, but also attracted the global incentives. India's strength lies in its sectorial diversity in automotive, aerospace, electronics, and more. Supply chain strengthening is import substitution or making our tooling industry more resilient. Government initiatives like Make in India and the PLI schemes are attracting investment and boosting the domestic production. With a long-term vision by Government of India, Viksit Bharat 2047, we are aiming for the globally competitive and self-reliant economy. The tooling industry is the heart of vision, driving innovation, employment, and global relevance. Reason for the positive growth in the Indian economic outlook are initiatives to boost the internal trade, promoting the export, bringing the strict regulatory control. Viksit Bharat 2047 envisions a globally competitive, self-reliant economy under which 5 key government initiatives are shaping the future of our tooling and all other sectors. Make in India is fueling a domestic manufacturing, attracting the investment, and boosting the demand for locally made tools and components. Atmanirbhar Bharat is driving the self-reliance, reducing the import dependency, and empowering MSME to innovative and scaling up. Samarat Udyag is the Bharat 4.0 is ushering a smart factories, digital tooling and automation, making a precision and agility the new standard. PLI scheme is showing the rewarding scale and innovation, especially in EVs, electronics, aerospace, and other appliance industries. In future, our government may consider the investment of subsidy for the tooling industries. These policies not only enhance the tooling capabilities, but also stimulate the demand through the growth in automotive, electronics, renewable energy, positioning India as a global manufacturing hub. Leaders, India is not just raising power its manufacturing and consumer market. let's take a look at how India is reshaping in the global landscape. India proudly holds the title of the world's largest rail coach manufacturer and second largest mobile manufacturer. India has become the third largest automotive market, overtaking Japan with 4.27 million vehicles sold in 2024. India is driving ahead, powered by the rising incomes, urban growth, and thirst for mobility. India ranks fourth globally in the home appliance market, from the smart refrigerators to the energy efficient air conditioning and all household appliances. Leaders, India's rise is not just about numbers, it is about transformation. I repeat, India's rise is not just about numbers, it is about transformation. From railways to smartphones, cars to kitchen, India is building an innovative and leading in all areas. This is more than a growth. Now we are transforming from manufacturing powerhouse to the self-reliant. The tooling industry should also gear up for the transformation, aiding India's broader vision, being the global hub for the innovation and manufacturing. Coming to the self-reliance India, India is forging a new path built on strength, precision, and purpose. With a committed action plan and a progressive approach, we are not just participating in the global market, we are preparing to become a front runner. We will look into the more details in the upcoming slides. Leaders, in today's fast-paced product landscape, collaboration is a key for success. Early design involvement, digital platform, and smart manufacturing is essential for success. When OEMs and Tier 1 suppliers and tool makers work together, we create tools that are not only precise, but also scalable and reliable. The synergy is what makes Indian tooling industries future ready. Precision engineering and process controls are the backbone of the quality toolings, but we also need a digital literacy, smart documentation, and to stay ahead. Balancing the cost and the performance is a constant challenge. That's why skill development and technology adaptation must go hand in hand. A future-ready workforce is just as important as a future-ready tools. Together, they ensure that consistency, reliability, and innovation. To stay globally competitive, we need to be agility and resilience and lean practices. Our supply chain must be robust and our tooling strategies must be efficient. Technology tie-ups and benchmarking helps us to stay ahead of the curve. Reverse engineering and smart analytics can look more efficiencies. Responsiveness is not just a trait, it is a strategic advantage. Let us build a tooling system that are not only world-class, but also the future-proof. To remain to be a competitive and attractive discerning customer, benchmarking global practices is no longer optional, it is essential. That is, for the new age production method, embrace automation, digital twins, additive manufacturing, and AI-driven quality control enhance efficiency and precision. Eco-friendly materials like prioritize a low-carbon footprint materials in line with the global sustainability and goals. When we say the sustainable practices, implement circular economy and models in all areas, energy-efficient processes, transparent supply chain build a trust and long-term value. As we look ahead, it's critical to be a future-ready to meet evolving demands of the sunrise industries in all the areas. Leaders, we are producing everything from the smallest parts to the automotive to the household appliances and even contributing to the lunar lander that touched the moon. This journey reflects a precision engineering, mastery in micro components and tooling. Scaling and diversity, if you look into it, we are capable to manufacture across the sector and consumer goods of high technology to the mobility. Innovation and vision, participation in the mission, it's like Chandrayaan, showcasing the India's leap into advanced aerospace engineering. India is not just building a product, it is building the possibilities. I would like to repeat once again, India is not just building a product, it is building possibilities. From the ground to the moon, the nation's manufacturing ecosystem is moving its mettle on the global stage. Finally, I will leave you with the thought that success of the largest mission depends on the precision of the smallest parts that is produced by the people, those who are sitting in this stages, in this auditorium. In tooling, every micron matters, every detail counts. As we move forward, let us continue to innovate, collaborate, and build a future where the precision drives the progress. That is what we call it as a tooling industry. Through this forum, I thank TAGMA and team for this opportunity and also wishing you all the very best in the future endeavors. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, please join me as I hand over the podium to Mr. Krishna Sudheendran, Scientist C, Deputy Director, Production and General Engineering Department, Bureau of Indian Standards. Ladies and gentlemen, please.
Good morning to everyone present here. Yeah, good. It's truly an honor to join you all at the International Tooling Summit 2025. I would like to thank TAGMA India for inviting Bureau of Indian Standards to be part of this important gathering. As you all know, Bureau of Indian Standards is the national standards body of India. The standards which are being formulated with the support of the stakeholders like you, participating in the committees in the BIS and giving their expertise so that a national standard is formulated which is acceptable to the entire industry. So it is critical that Bureau of Indian Standards collaborate with stakeholders and especially associations such as TAGMA to make sure that the standards which are needed by the industries are timely formulated. The theme for this year, from capability to credibility, transforming Indian tool rooms, this week volumes. So credibility can be achieved by the way of standardization and conformity assessment. So the product being manufactured in the Indian market, they are capable, and as the earlier speakers have mentioned, we are in a position to place ourselves in the global marketplace. But how to ensure that we have the credibility along with it? Standardization and conformity assessment is an integral part of ensuring the same. So, since most of you are in industries and are aware of standard in some way or other, but I would like to touch upon what the standard basically means. Standards are essentially agreed frameworks, a document that defines the requirement for product, process, or services. So you must have noticed recently the standards are not only developed for a specific product, we are also developing standard for the processes as well as the services. And in BIS, we have recently constituted a separate department for developing service-related standards. So these standards, they bring uniformity, reduce ambiguity, and act as a common language between the manufacturer and the consumer. So standard is not specifically a product specification. That is an important part of it. But standard come in various other forms. It can be a material specification. It can be a standard which gives the design and tolerance of the product. And as you must all be aware, there are standards on safety, which will act as a backbone for the Omnibus Technical Regulation on Safety of Machinery. So as I stated, standards comes in various types and forms. There are testing standards. And why are all these standards necessary for the industry? Because the market, both domestic as well as international, is no longer buying products. They are buying assurance. When your mold or jig that you are manufacturing meets an Indian standard specification, it basically signals that it conforms to the quality and requirement which has been set by the Indian industry. This not only builds buyer confidence, this reduces rejection rates and strengthens the reputation of the industry itself. But given that standards are important and BIS obviously plays the important part in formulating them. So what are the challenges being faced by BIS as well as the industry in formulation of these standards? So The most important challenge is the fragmented sector with many MSMEs who are yet to be aligned to these standards. So here, the role not only comes of Bureau of Indian Standards as the national standards body, its associations such as TAGMA, their role is critical in disseminating the information to the respective stakeholder base. There may be clusters throughout the India. So what we suggest is that we collaborate and hold webinars, seminars, so that we can disseminate the information which is may not be percolating to the entire industry itself. Standard which is formulated and not being used is of no use. So to make sure that the standards and its reach is brought out to the entire industry, TAGMA and BIS may work in collaboration in ensuring the outreach programs. And this ties, so it's critical that the standards are formulated, are used by the industry. But what we have felt throughout our experience in interacting with various industries, what we have found that the standards which are being formulated is not actually representative of the Indian industry. So the standards, whenever they come into conformity assessment, that is the mandatory quality control order regime, what we feel that we receive input from the industry that certain requirements in the standard, maybe it's dimensions, size, varieties, testing, is not covered in the standard itself. So what I will request the stakeholders and the association is make sure that we rigorously formulate standard, review them, and make sure that the standard which is there, it reflects the current Indian market need. It shouldn't be a case that once the standard comes into the regime of mandatory certification, then industry realizes there are shortcomings with the standard. So timely working on the standard to make sure that not only the existing standards are revised in a timely manner and reflect the Indian industry, we have to assess in the growing market what are the gap areas, what are the standards which we require, which will help the industry in the long run. So to summarize, TAGMA and BIS TAGMA would play a vital role in bridging the gap between the industry and the national standards body like BIS. So to briefly touch upon how the standards are formulated. So some of you may be already be part of some or other committees in BIS or in some way have interacted with Bureau of Indian Standards, either through work in standards or through conformity assessment schemes. But those of you who are not aware, the standards, like I earlier mentioned, standards are not formulated in isolation by Bureau of Indian Standards. We are only the facilitator. The standard would be formulated when the stakeholders come to the platform which is being provided by BIS and give their expert input so that relevant standard can be formulated. So in BIS, there are 17 different departments, each formulating standard in their individual field. For example, chemical, food and agriculture, civil, mechanical, metallurgy, and so forth. So most of the standards which will be pertinent to the audience here are being formulated by Production and General Engineering Department, in which I am working. So this department has formulated standard to various tooling standards across 3 to 4 committees. So what is a committee? Committee is basically a composition of the relevant stakeholders, be it the manufacturer of that product, the user of the product, government bodies, regulator, such as DHI, DPIIT, who are part of this committee, and they come together and they make the standard specification and publish them as a national standard. So as I mentioned, in this system, for this system to work, it's essential that the stakeholders come together and contribute. But without the stakeholders, the standard will never be a representation of the that particular industry. So in BIS, we have various tooling committees. So there are committees on cutting tools, PGD 32. There are committees on hand tools, PGD 34. But I'll focus on the committees which are relevant to the audience here. That is PGD 04, which is Metal Forming Machine Sectional Committee. So the presses along with the tools, such as tools for molding and pressing, are covered within this committee. And the PGD 35, which is the Committee on Machine Tools, Holding Devices, and Related Equipment, this committee formulates standards related to jigs and fixtures. So there may be some standards such as, for example, IS 3748, which is on tool steel, which will be relevant to all of you. So this standard is formulated, since this is a raw material specification, this standard is formulated by metallurgical department of BIS. Why I'm explaining all this information is so that you appreciate the structure of BIS. Understanding the structure of BIS will help you in approaching the relevant department or committee with your proposal. With your proposal maybe in form for a formulation of a new standard, or the proposal maybe for a formulation of a revision of existing specification, where you feel that it requires some revision, modifications. So, like I mentioned, I don't have the time to delve deep into various tools, various portals, online information which BIS provides, which many of you may not be aware of. Understanding this portal is critical because a lot of information is right there in our BIS website. So you'll be able to find the standards which are being developed and contribute directly, contact the relevant department and give the information, either passively through comments. You can send a mail to us, comment through our BIS portal, or actively take part in the committee in form of a technical committee member. So I invite all of you to please go through the website, and if you have any doubts, I'm here. We like to conduct a future program where we will focus on specific aspects which the industry needs, which industry requires from BIS. We'll focus on that so that we can have detailed sessions dedicated to it. So in terms of conformity assessment regime, in tooling, there aren't many quality control order. There is one quality control order which deals with the round punches. Apart from most of the other tools are not covered under Scheme 1, the product certification scheme, the ISI mark scheme of BIS. So there is a new scheme which has come forth, that is the Omnibus Technical Regulation on Safety of Machinery, which is going to be implemented from next year. So I understand whenever a new regulation comes, government introduces a new regulation, there are a lot of questions. There are a lot of queries with respect to how it impacts the industries. And always during the initial phase, there may be some inertia with respect to the Indian industry in conforming to those requirements. So what I will just suggest, because there is time for the implementation, I would suggest the members of the association and all the participants for whom it may be relevant, that you start working on it. Read the document, read the conformity assessment scheme, and you start the application process. Because once you start, with time, everything gets sorted out. But the problem would be if you wait till the last moment, whatever feedback you give in the terms of standards, there will not be enough time to incorporate those into the standards. So I will encourage all the parties who are subject to this OTR, they start approaching the BIS so that the ball gets rolling in terms of their application process. So we, like I said, we may have a separate session for this, because this is a big subject in itself on safety of machinery. So moving forward, so what we require from BIS, as well as what we require from BIS and what we require from the industry at large, is that, summarizing my earlier points, standards are critical in the quality infrastructure, right? Quality ecosystem. There is no developed nation, there is no developed manufacturing country who does not have a robust standardization system also. So development and growth in the industry is always in parallel with the development of standards. So I hope that industry approach BIS and take more active part in identifying what are the Indian standard which requires to be formulated, which requires to be revised, and actively participate in this Indian standard. And as well as I'll encourage the members to leverage the BIS portals so that they are aware of all the information which is being disseminated, as well as they contribute through the commenting platform right there in the portal. So, to prepare for the regulatory requirements, you should start the process and align your process in advance for upcoming omnibus technical regulation. So, I will conclude with a particular statement, which says that quality is never an accident. It is always the result of an intelligent effort. Therefore, standards are that intelligent effort being made collectively by the industry. As we gather here at the International Tool Summit 2025, let us commit to making Indian tool not just capable, but unquestionably credible on the world stage. BIS stands ready to work with TAGMA and all the stakeholders to make this vision a reality. Thank you, and I look forward to engaging with many of you during the summit. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing all of those wonderful insights with us. Ladies and gentlemen, for the keynote address, may I please hand over the podium to Mr. Gopalakrishnan, TS, Director, Multiple Special Steel Privates Limited. Over to you, sir.
Friends, Romans, countrymen. C stands for countrymen, C stands for customers, C stands for competitions too. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the distinguished dignitaries in the dais, and my fellow tool makers and my patrons. It is an honor and a privilege to stand before you, address a few words which comes from my heart. My son had given me a printout, and I have read out all these for the past 3 days, but excuse me, I may not be touching any of this. What I say is from my heart. So, to begin with, I have to thank TAGMA, this institution, which was started almost 3 decades back by 8 friends who had come together for their passion of tool making. And from 30 years, we have come a long way. And this is from the support from the OEMs, Tier 1s, and the tool makers, the members of TAGMA. So they deserve a very big applause. I was introduced into this maybe some 2 decades back. When I first walked into a tool room 2 decades ago, our mindset was different. The machines were fewer, processes were slower, and goal was simple. Deliver the tool, make sure it works, and move to the next order. That was capability. So the team of TAGMA has coined a beautiful word from C. C for capability, and also C stands for credibility. But for this, the main important ingredient or the blood flow is capital. So I request the OEMs and Tier 1s to help the tool makers with the lifeblood, which is very, very important. And they have to treat us like they are treating any other Koreans or Japanese or Taiwan or Chinese tool makers. So it is a humble request from my side. I am sorry, it is coming from my heart. Pardon me if I am crossed my limit. Apart from capability, credibility also is very important. So, in order to become a global change maker in tooling, we need credibility also. So, over the years, we have seen the transformation has been slow, but it has been very steady. So, capability gets you noticed, credibility keeps you remembered. So, it's always better that we are remembered in all the nooks and corners of the world. Coming back to the great initiative of the government of India, Make in India, we have been successful in supporting them in smaller ways, like small drops of ocean make a big ocean. So we have been able to, all the tool makers, even though the support industries like mine, which is tool steel provider, are very slow to support them, but tooling industry, out of their passion, they have grown to great heights. And I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Guruprasad ji, who rightly said, automotive is the drive force of India for the tool makers. This calls for a big applause. And because of that, the tooling has come to a stage or age where aerospace also can be accommodated with a little more fine tuning and quality consciousness. Every world-class product starts with a world-class tool, and that tool can be made in India, but within the next few years, it should be, our policy should be, it should be made in India. As a tool maker, service provider, I find that there are a lot of support system which has to be encouraged from the government side, from the OEM side, from the Tier 1 side. One is skill gap which has to be closed down, then technology adoption, quality standards, and collaboration. So skill development, I am glad to tell that the government is very serious on that, and there are a lot of moves which is going to happen very shortly. And I thank the central government for this very good support. At least now they are opening their eyes for the tool makers and their pain points. Technology adoption is a need of the hour, because in order to step up from the automotives to the defense to the aerospace, we need to adopt technologies which is available. And I hope TAGMA also will be in a position to be a bridge between the technologically developed countries like Taiwan, Vietnam, Japan, and the Europe, and even the US, to bring those technologies to the doorsteps of the Indian tool maker. Quality standards has to be actually adopted and strictly adhered to. And collaboration, again, there is a word is C for collaboration, has to happen not only from the OEM side, Tier 1 side, it should also happen as a cluster formation from smaller tool rooms to the bigger tool rooms. And I honestly and humbly request all the bigger tool rooms as a part of CSR to handhold smaller tool rooms. Let us come together and make our nation a great place to live in, work in, and work for. And I think TAGMA has been a catalyst for this transformation. Right from 30 years back, TAGMA has gone from strength to strength. Again, thanks to all the EC members, past, present, and even the future also, and all the presidents who have led us as a leader from the front. Finally, for the conclusion, friends, it is time to move beyond import substitution. We should find ways and means for self-sustenance. So for that, I am glad that government is also planning some moves which will definitely help the Indian tool makers to scale up their quality and scale up their performing of the tools. And finally, I request all the Indian tool manufacturers, patrons, that we should not just be a follower, we should be the trendsetter for the global standards in the future to come. So my final word is, capability gets us in the game, but credibility wins us the world. So thank you very much for all the distinguished guests in the dais and also the delegates. Thank you very much once again. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thoughts with us. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now hand over the stage to Mr. D. Shanmugasundaram, Vice President TAGMA India, for not only just the vote of thanks, but also to share the TAGMA initiatives with the government. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to each and every one of you. On behalf of TAGMA EC Council and on behalf of TAGMA members, my sincere thanks to Mr. Deepak Thukral, Executive Officer, Supply Chain, Maruti Suzuki India Limited, Mr. Guruprasad Biswal, CEO, Aerospace, Defense and Civil, Bharat Forge Limited, Mr. Sundar, Vice President, Function Lead Procurement, Hyundai Motors India, Mr. Krishna Sudheendran, Scientist, Deputy Director, Production and General Engineering Department, Bureau of Indian Standards. Once again, thank you so much to each one of you for taking your precious time to attend this event and being with us. And as well, respected speakers of next 2 days, valued sponsors, without you, this grand event is not possible. And TAGMA EC Council from all over India and our past presidents of TAGMA and distinguished audience and TAGMA members. Thank you so much for joining the International Tooling Summit Pune. Next 2 days, we'll be deliberating about the topic of this ITS, from capability to credibility, transforming Indian tool rooms. I'm here not only to deliver the vote of thanks, but to discuss about the TAGMA's initiative with the government. India's tooling industry stands at the important stage. We currently rank 20th in the world, but most of our units are micro or small scale. Tool makers, small and large, who are the backbone of Indian engineering and manufacturing strength, serving important sectors like automotive, aerospace, defense, consumer goods, and electronics. Many of the members, all of the members face challenges like limited access to high-end machines, keeping the customers here. Already Gopalji has referred that delayed payment from big customers, which affects in a big way on the working capital on many tool rooms. All are aware that all the imported tools comes against payment and LC, but when it comes to India tool rooms, suppliers, we are not taken care. Gopalji. It's a big story. I'm sure the customers here will take care of us in the better way in the future. And also, we lag in testing facilities and software, as well as issues like inverted duty structure and duty-free imports from certain countries under trade agreements that affect our competitiveness. Also, lack of export incentives, lack of common facilities for advanced manufacturing, and also many has expressed that skilled engineers and as well as attrition rates. Like this, many day-to-day issues. And we always see the neighbor, China is ahead of times, and support from the government of tooling sector is huge in many ways. We have already raised many of these concerns with the Ministry of Heavy Industry, and we are having positive response in a big way, which we will discuss in detail. At the same time, the opportunities before us are bigger than ever. The global supply chain is being reshaped, and free trade agreements with countries like the UK, UAE, Australia, and Japan, Korea are opening up new areas of growth. And as our chief guest and guest of honor said, $280 billion automotive sector, and CAGR of every industry is going 8%. So growth is assured. It's great to hear that from our chief of guests that localization is their top priority. That too from Maruti, if they say, it's wonderful, sir. Thank you so much. And also you have pointed out the challenges before us. First time we should be right. Yes, we will try to stand to your expectation. And also you told that skill development is important aspect, as TAGMA will focus on this. Also another guest of honor told that 17,000 flights are going to come in the country, and CAGR is 13%, and he has already laid a beautiful roadmap to TAGMA, how the aerospace industry is to be transformed. And also given a challenge that Vietnam can be done, Vietnam can do, why India cannot do? Yes, sir, we will do it. Also, many government initiatives in electronics, auto, aerospace, and defense are creating strong and huge demand for local tooling. Example is iPhone. iPhone, do you believe that 56,000 units are produced every day? 56,000 units are produced every day. In short span of 2-3 years, the scaling up has been done, and very big opportunities in front of us. And 120,000 is the target per day for them. I hope somebody is there in Tata Electronics from. Our vision at TAGMA is to move India from the 20th to 50th position in the next 3-4 years and into the top 10 within the next decade. We at TAGMA are working to upgrade 100 high potential micro units into medium or large scale operations through access to capital, skills and technology and mentorship. We at TAGMA are advocating for a tooling technology fund to help invest in high-end machines and software, and we are also planning to co-develop many high-end tool rooms with public-private participation. We at TAGMA in the past few months relentlessly advocating with Government of India. We have a very senior level and a reputed advisor retired from the government to guide us, and we have some great development which I would like to share with you all. Presentation. As our president pointed out, there is a 13,000 crore scheme for auto sector supply chain to be a prominent part of the global supply chain. The protecting interest of the members in trade deals with UK, EU, USA, New Zealand, Italy, Mauritius and other countries, as well as the blocks of countries to expand opportunities for its members on continuous basis. So there is a 13,000 crore fund available in the government. So these are our points we are taking with the government. The most important thing is CapEx grant. We have 25% grant on the proposed investment and modernization of your tool rooms. The members here, please note down, 1,500 crores government is allotting for your modernization of your machine shop. The next 3 years, if your investment is 30 crores, you can able to get 25%. This initiative has been taken by TAGMA and it will be rolled out in another few months. All my request is Members, please respond to our circulars so that we get feedback from you and we can represent the government in a better way. It's my request. So another thing is advanced tool room, another 2,000 crore sub scheme which is available, and for this also many inputs from you is required. Skilling, many of us talking about skilling. Yes, there are many aspects, and 3,600 crore government is allotted fund for the skill development, and at TAGMA we are discussing and deliberating with the government how to do it. Like you see, estimate hours of training needed, training budget per trainee, total workers to be trained in India, and what is the total budget required. Based on which TAGMA will work out list of machines and budget will send to the government. Next is international fairs on toolings, and again the budget is around 200 crores available, wherein which many of the fairs can be participated with this program. So these are the government initiatives. We always talk about talking about the neighbor, saying that the government is supporting them and government is not supporting us. There are facilities available. You can see 13,000 crore is available with the government. In the next few years, we can unlock it. But all that need is, I need support. When we call for a meeting, only few members are attending and we don't get response from the members. It's not a complaint, it is a request. If you want us to represent in a better way, please request your inputs. That will be most valuable. Coming back to the ITS 2025, this is our 9th edition. We have been breaking our own records with every passing years. In Bangalore, we are crossing 400 registration. In Mumbai, we have crossed 500, and I'm happy to share you that we have got registration from over 600 professionals in this edition. Pune is so special by breaking all the records of the past ITS. Over the next 2 days, we will witness 4 panel discussions, 3 fireside chat, and 12 technical sessions. Let us use this platform to reimagine Indian tooling, which is more innovative, more resilient, and a truly world-class. The future of manufacturing is being shaped now, and India has the opportunity and the capability to lead. And many of our chief guests and guest of honors has pointed out how is the growth story will be. As the topic of this ITS 2025, from capability to credibility, transforming Indian tool rooms. Let's discuss and debate next 2 days. Thank you once again, sponsors. Thank you so much, each one of you.
Thank you so much, sir. May I please request our President and Vice President to take center stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to request Mr. Sheregar and Mr. D. Shanmugasundaram to please join us right here in the center. We're so thrilled that we have all of these dignitaries who've taken time out and are here to elevate the occasion. We'd like to hand over a small token of appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, first to Mr. Deepak Thukral. To Mr. Guruprasad Biswal. Mr. Sundar R. Mr. Krishna Sudheendran. And to Mr. Gopalakrishnan TS. Could we request all of our wonderful dignitaries to come together for a group picture? Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking them for setting